In today's lesson, we are going to learn to model with algebra. Now, algebra can be a very efficient way to model mathematical situations, but it's just one method that we can use to solve problems. And we can use many different methods to solve the same problem. Algebra may not always be the best way, but it is a good one to have and to be comfortable with when we're presented with many mathematical situations, both now and in the future. So let's take, for example, this question. Esteban is 6 years older than his brother Raul. The sum of their ages is 38, and I want to know how old each of these brothers are. So with algebra, I have to be able to represent certain pieces of information with variables. So I know that overall that Esteban plus Raul equals 38 years old. So I know that Esteban is 6 years older than his brother Raul, so I'm going to say that Raul's age is X. I don't know what it is yet, but I'm just going to say that it's X. So Raul is equal to X. But because I've defined that Raul is X, I know that Esteban is 6 years older than Raul. I can say that Esteban is X, or Raul, plus another 6 years. So that I've defined these two, Raul and Esteban, as mathematical terms. I can then put them into the equation and solve for the unknown variable x, which is Raul's age. So I have x plus 6 for Esteban plus x equals 38. Now that I've got into an equation with only one variable, I can simply solve for it. Breaking down and collecting like terms, I have x and another x, so that gives me two x's altogether, plus 6 equals 38. I bring the 6 over, so I'm going to subtract, change its sign. So I'm going to have 2x equal to 38 minus 6. Just extend this out. 2x equal to 38 minus 6 is 32. Divide both sides by 2. And I have x is equal to 16. So now I found out that Raul is equal to 16 years old. And Esteban, he will be equal to 16 plus 6, which is 22 years old. So I've now taken this question, which I didn't know the answer to, and I've solved it using this algebraic model, making Raul equal to x and Esteban equal to his age plus 6, or x plus 6. Now let's try a more difficult question. And this is one that I don't want to say relates to real world issues, but is kind of taken from them. Now I have Kyle. Kyle sells used cars. He's paid $14 per hour plus an 8% commission on all sales that he makes. So for every $100 that Kyle sells, he makes $8. Now I want to know what dollar amount of car sales Kyle must make in order to earn $1,200 in a 38-hour work week. So I have to take all this information and I have to take parts of it and define it with different variables. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to say the amount of time he works, I'm going to say that's equal to h. So h is equal to the time Kyle works. So time working. I'm going to say that E is equal to the amount that he earns overall. E is like money earned. And I'm going to say that X is the amount of money he sells. So these are his so-called car sales. And it's in terms of money. So I have H, I have E, and I have X. But the thing is, in this question, I'm given two of these three variables. I'm given the amount he's worked in a week, which is 38. And I'm given the money he's earned in the week, or at least what I want to know, which is $1,200. I want to try and find out what his car sales are. So if I look at Kyle and how much he earns, I know that it's going to be $14 times the amount of time he works, so $14 times his hours. He makes an 8% commission. And 8% is merely 8 over 100 times his amount of sales. And this is going to be equal to how much he takes home, E. Well, H, you can just sub in 14 times 38. 8 over 100. Well, I can probably keep that, or I can turn that into a decimal in this case, 0.08 x. And I know that I'm looking for how much he's going to earn, or when he's going to earn $1,200. Now, please excuse that. Now I have a very simple equation with only one variable. So I have 14 times 38, which is 532 plus 0.08x equals 1,200. I'm going to move this over to the other side. So this goes over here, change the sign, 532. And I'm left with 0.08x is equal to 1,200 minus 532, which gives me $668. Now to find out how much car sales Kyle has to make, 0.08, 0.08. I know that X is going to be equal to 8,350. So Kyle would have to sell $8,350 worth of cars in a 38-hour work week in order to make $1,200.